What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode on my channel. As always, I'm Jay, and guys, it's been a little while, but I am back finally talking about a show that I'm actually surprised no one's really talking about. It's a great action show, martial arts. It's known as Warrior. And the thing about it is it's on Cinemax, so you can find it on the Cinemax Go app. Or if you have cable and you have Cinemax, definitely recommend checking it out on demand. And guys, the first season just wrapped up, 10 episode roster. And guys, this show is awesome. It's got awesome action. And the thing about it is you know me. I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan, and this show is actually based on Bruce Lee's writings, which is an incredible, awesome thing because it's one of those things that kind of lost itself during time, and there's a little bit of a backstory to this. So, originally back in the 60s and 70s, Bruce Lee had written a treatment for a TV show that he was intended to be the star of. And this show was called Warrior. Basically, in this 8-page outline, he outlined kind of this show where a man would go around using his fists to solve problems and kind of spread his philosophy, essentially, which was kind of a nice vehicle for Bruce to kind of give his own philosophy and showcase his own fighting style and kind of martial arts prowess. Unfortunately, this show would later be changed entirely, becoming what would later be known as Kung Fu. And of course, in that respect, for any of those who know what Kung Fu was, he was actually recast and he was not the main character. That main character was actually played by David Carradine, who controversially is not Asian. Shannon Lee, Bruce's daughter, and Justin Lin, incredible director of numerous things, including Fast and Furious films, actually dusted off the old treatment, gave it a new contemporary writing, story, and plot, and now we have Warrior. And again, Warrior is an awesome show, and the only thing that I can really compare this to, action-wise and kind of fighting-wise, definitely rings true with Into the Badlands, which actually just wrapped up its last season. Into the Badlands had kind of that high wire, almost kind of fantastical fighting style, lots of stylized action. This one, however, is more grounded. It's more gritty and more of a street fight type of thing going on. And the subject matter is in the backdrop of the Old West. But overall, the plot itself really focuses on Ah Sahm, the main character, who is definitely a ringer for Bruce Lee and his mannerisms and his costume and kind of his visual and attitudes, as it were. I mean, Andrew Koji, who is an English actor, does a fantastic job at portraying Ah Sahm, and I think that you could have definitely seen Bruce Lee as this character way back in his prime in the 60s and 70s and everything, had he ended up being able to act out and fulfill his role in this show. This show has so many callbacks and awesome nods to Bruce Lee's films. Ah Sahm is kind of a play on him, but obviously to a more fantastical extreme in this kind of narrative. And one of the things that we find out is Ah Sahm actually had an American grandfather. So not only is he Chinese, but he has kind of American lineage. He can speak English and he can speak in Chinese as well, which throws everyone for a loop. Aside from that, the plot centers around Ah Sahm basically coming to San Francisco, California, to find his sister who ended up leaving China long ago. And the thing is that there's kind of a little bit of a mystery behind what's his issue and why he came to the States and why his sister actually left for San Francisco in America. So the show also is kind of one of those things where it inserts Ah Sahm in kind of a hotbed of a mess and issues in San Francisco. It's at the height of the Tong Wars, and if you don't know, Tong were actually Chinese mobs and gangsters and everything. And after seeing Ah Sahm fight, he actually gets roped into the gang war when he's initiated into the Hap Wei Tong. The show plays on kind of that immigration aspect, which was definitely one of those hotbed issues and everything's of having kind of the slave labor, or if you weren't kind of doing the slave labor and kind of busting your back and killing yourself doing this labor, you were part of the Tongs, which is, you were kind of living life on the edge and kind of being at risk by doing some of these shady things, as it were, back in Chinatown and around those times. And in his nature, even though he's a good character, Ah Sahm definitely has to get down and dirty with some of the other gangs just because it's a killer be killed mentality, and even going so far as participating for the Hap Wei inside of an actual tournament, which is reminiscent of the Kumite style in movies like Bloodsport and different other various martial arts films with tournaments and whatnot, especially. Beyond that, guys, this show is awesome. It's got a nice little dramatic spin on it. The acting is fantastic, and if you haven't checked it out and you are a Bruce Lee fan or you're a fan of martial arts and action in general, as I said before, you should definitely check this out, and this should definitely be on your radar because it is an awesome show. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Highly recommended. And if you are nostalgic for that kung fu martial arts kind of action, this is definitely going to scratch your itch and satisfy you, unlike any show that I've seen as of late. But anyway, guys, that's enough of me gushing over this show. Again, I think it is a fantastic show, and if you like action, martial arts, and you're a Bruce Lee fan, definitely worth your watch. Go check it out on Cinemax on demand, whether it's on the app or your local cable provider. You're gonna be enjoying the hell out of the show for sure, as I did, and I am highly anticipating season 2. Hopefully they'll start shooting it soon and it'll be released shortly thereafter. But anyway, guys, that's all the time that I have for today. As always, I'm Jay, and if you like this video, click the subscribe button. And if you have any thoughts or comments, leave them down below in the comment section. Drop a like, drop a thumbs down, whatever you feel like. But until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.